The symbolism of Stranger Things 5 marks a cultural shift. Not only the surprises in the script, but also the surprising online reaction to the same old propagandistic messaging. There's also timeless motifs within the symbolism of Stranger Things, which is why it's captivated audiences for so long. Let's talk about the ancient metaphysics of Stranger Things and whether it can help us navigate our own lives, because I smell a rabbit hole. Stranger Things appears to have a two-tier ontology. Hawkins, the embodied normal world, and the Upside Down, a hellish tyrannical inversion. But if you've watched season 5, you know this has changed, and since the beginning, this sci-fi dualism was never really what the writers of Stranger Things were presenting, not only because maybe they had this planned, but it became very clear that this is about something else in season 4. Particularly the scene that took over the internet and the radio by storm, in which Max faces Vecna in her mind, somewhat separated from her body. And the embodied experiences like time with friends, including a high five, and being emo in the halls, listening to Kate Bush, and a kiss from your high school sweetheart are what brought her out of her interior trap, her trance. And she tells Vecna, within her mind, he's not really here. And so this implies a rejection of that Cartesian split of mind and body. And Max connects with her embodied life through contemplating beauty and embracing the relational aspects of life. Friendship, romance, love. And this was 2022 when this scene aired, and that was arguably the peak of hyper-masculine, dissociated, isolated society, with women leading the way to destroying femininity. And this scene sort of marks the return to continuity of the feminine, embodied relationships and community, and it's all resurging in 2025. But I don't think that the Duffer Brothers realized when they wrote the script for season 5, the ripple effect, just where the culture was going. For instance, while the audience was sympathetic to Will's struggle with sexuality in season 4, by season 5, flaunting your eccentricities, even in the name of being honest or trusting, was counterproductive to the common purpose of the group. So let's talk about Will's coming out scene. Let me first say that I like that Will, again, connects the interior world with the enemy. I don't think people talked about that enough a little bit ago. And now it's back open to where it's like, are demons and are angels strictly external, or are they an internal battle as well? And everyone to some degree would say, yes, it's an internal battle, but it seemed like a conversation you can't have up until recently. Vecna represents Will's internal distrust, his possessiveness, and his dishonesty with his friends. And I also like it that he makes it clear that his sexual preferences are not the core of his identity. He lists off a ton of things that his friends do together that he considers to be the mark of his identity. And he's like, and then I don't like girls, and that's a funny little footnote on my epic personality. I liked that, although I have to say that Key and Peele did it better.
Oh, I see. So you don't want to see a close-up picture of my anus because you hate gay men. Homophobe alert.
Hey, baby. Ready to go to lunch? Yeah.
Oh, I get it. I'm not persecuted. I'm just an ass.
But Will's coming out scene was still a moment where everyone on the internet asked, how important is it that the public knows my sexual preferences? And what does Will being gay have to do with the common goal here? How urgent is it? And this realization that eccentricities are not the proper center of a group's attention is why Dustin's speech about anti-conformity at the end of the show, it didn't hit for me. He talked about friendship, which is good, relational aspect of life again. But where's the gratitude for the institution that gave, especially Dustin, all of his scientific knowledge that helped them save the world? What about Mr. Clark? The school is the environment that all the kids, the friends, met. Like, where did D&D get its intuitive terminology? Was it just complete fantasy, or is that handed down from generations of myth? And so while the institutions of their world caused problems and went too far, they also offered resources and an outlook that helped them save the world. And I wish that they would have ended the show in the same nuanced and ambiguous tone that they've had in previous seasons regarding authority and institutions, rather than condemning the structure of society as evil. Stranger Things rightly identifies the horizontal relationships as crucial to the well-being of individuals and society, but it doesn't talk about the vertical, or it doesn't support vertical relationships and give them their proper due, at least not explicitly. This has me thinking whether I show the proper gratitude toward the flawed structures and the heroes that gave me my family, that gave me my friends and community, my home and food, beautiful and functional art, and the intellectual scaffolding to appreciate it, even the ability to control my temperature in pretty much any environment I'm in.
I always set it at 69.
There aren't just Papas and Dr. K's and Vecnas in this world. There are also Mr. Clarks and Dr. Owens and Bobs and Hoppers all around the world that came before us and are above us. And so I hope that watching Stranger Things, that's the main takeaway that audiences had. But there are timeless symbolic motifs, no doubt, in Stranger Things. There's the obvious things like an underworld being associated with water, fire, snakes, spiders, monsters, tyranny, death, and our own inner demons. But there's more subtle commonalities between ancient cosmology and Stranger Things. Ancient Near East cosmology and, Greek cosmology, many ancient societies associated heaven with articulated meaning, speech, music. We see this in the Enuma Elish, Gilgamesh, or in Genesis. In the right side up of Stranger Things, when everything's going right, it's because the team is using D&D language to put meaning into the chaos around them. Christmas lights and music help the characters to connect to real life and defeat the dark forces in their world. Instead of cowering from the unknown and letting it take over, they ride on their two-wheeled chariots into the dark, equipped with meaningful frameworks to orient themselves in this world. And this is why myth and fantasy are not just escape from reality. They're actually the most distilled map of reality. Stranger Things, or a story like Stranger Things, not only offers us an explanation for our world, but it offers us one that holds our attention and draws it toward the most consistent and the most ubiquitous patterns of reality. Even better if the story endures through the filter of time. I love Stranger Things, not only because it's an original story, which is rare these days, but because it's a proper ancient story. It conveys the importance of relationships, the courage to clean out your inner demons, and most recently, the reality that the spirit realm works with our consent and effort for good or for evil. And while it lacks a true heaven, an ideal to strive toward and invite into our life, participate with, and invite to participate rather than control like magic, it does show that love has something to do with avoiding hell. Well, the finale's over. I don't know what to do with myself now. I might rewatch it, or I might go outside or something.